Right, scuttle. Yes, let's get the scuttle back on. Well, all we're going to need for this job is a 10mm and a quarter-inch ratchet, Phillips screwdriver, a bit of cleaning, bit of a rag. Obviously we've got a snap bolt there, so we don't have to worry about that, but honestly these are just as guides to slip the scuttle back in. Now we've got the appropriate wiring that goes through, so we've got the main wiring loom, and we've got this cable that goes through to, well, this is the actual gas pedal. I assume it's the gas pedal. No, it isn't. It's the kick down cable. The kick down cable goes through here amongst the motor wiring and the fan wiring that goes through this little junction. So we're going to have to kind of do some maneuvering. As I say, it's going to be trial and error with the wiring side of things, but hopefully we can get it all lined back in. So first of all, obviously we've got the top seal, we've got the left hand one, the right hand one, the box that goes over the heater fan, and well, what the throttle kicker attaches to, but that attaches to that. But we're going to do it in order. So really the first thing is this. Okay, now it goes in this way. You've got these slots there, okay, two there, and they slat in to, I think, there and there. And obviously as we got it back out, we're going to have to scratch the damn thing by just forcing it back through. This might take a bit of a jiggle. We've got to be careful of the wiring here as well, but it's the best way and probably the only way of doing this without damaging too many things. There we go, it's in, and once you get it screwed in, there we go, done. And you know it's in because it's like that, and you obviously got two screws here for the scuttle that goes to the back, so make sure that's in. Oh, maybe that's not as in as I thought. Yeah, as long as you can't move it completely up and down, that is now in. Just give that a bit of a light clean. Always clean everything. There we go. Give it a bit of a light sheen. Obviously, you know, no one's going to look at this, but the point is, I like to know that everything is, you know, pretty clean. You know, it doesn't have to be clean this, because no one's going to see it, but that's not the point, is it? There we go. Lovely. And it's good for the plastics. Now this piece, obviously it goes on that side and it goes in first because it underlaps over the right hand side. The right hand side goes over the top of that. Okay, so we've got one mounting, two mountings with some sort of cable. I can't remember what goes through that. I am going to have to study some of my previous videos on this, but you've got a side mounting there that goes sort of there. Okay, we've got a screw that goes in there. Let's pop it on. Okay, just slide it onto that back bolt. There we go. Angle it down. There we go. Right. Okay. Right. I'll show you what I've just done. Right. You just slide it onto there. Okay. Get this wiring in front of the whole thing. That is now kind of lined up for a screw. This bit we need obviously one of the clips. I'm going to put the clips on in a second. We also need another clip there. We seem to have a bit of clashing going on behind. You just got to make sure that at this stage you're not crushing anything, and no, I don't think we are. So I think that's really good as it is. So now I'm going to get a couple of clips and stick that on. Okay, so we need a couple of these. Okay, and one just there. It would help if I had it the right way. There you go. Now they're quite loose. Then you put the screws in, put the screw in there and secure that down. So I'm going to just secure it on the side, putting the screw back into place. I'm not going to just put it in loosely, don't tighten it up. Now this fitting here, just put the screw in, and I've just realised one thing. I can't put the screw in because these two are going to overlap, and then you put the screw through. So you can put the screw through into this second one down here, and then that will just keep it nice and tight, as tight as possible. Right, there you go. Now there's a bit of movement there, that's what we want, okay, because we need to just keep everything from clashing a little bit. So we've got these little wires, if you can see here, they go through this little notch. So we got the fan, the speedo cable, the speedometer cable, and the wiper motor. Now that's all perfectly fine. Now we need to put the other piece on. Just get it lined up. So you got this side fixing screw there, okay. Make sure this wiring is ahead. We don't want it behind, we need it ahead, and then this will overlap onto this bit. Just be very careful not to damage any wiring, and just get it seated in as it should be seated. There we go. Just caught a couple of wires there. There we go. See, there's a plug there that got a bit sneaky, decided I want to go behind. No, you're not. I've got another one of these fittings here. Just tuck it. Oh, come on. Well, it would help. You've got to get it the right way, Andrew. There we go. Put it in there. Okay, and then we need just a fixing screw. This is one of the better ones. Some of them are rusted, some of them are not good. I've found a few of these all over the place. Not quite sure why, but I've just wound that in by hand. That one needs to be done now. Okay, that's tight. Just wound that in. God, this metal is so... You're gonna... I tell you what, I'll show you my arm. This is what happened to me when I took it off. That happened to me when I removed this scuttle. Trying to work out how it actually came apart. This is vile metal, and then you can put the screw in that joins the two together, although we haven't quite lined up as well as I'd have hoped, but it's kind of lined up as it should be. I don't think it's really gone off. You might have to do a bit of jiggling to get this lined up, but literally that's there. Just tighten that back up. There we go. Just make sure that they're all reasonably tight. There we go. Obviously we've got a broken screw there, so it's going to lift up a bit, but that's that. I'm just going to make sure that everything is lined up correctly, and then we'll go to the next stage. Right, so I've managed to fit that back in there. We've got to fit the wiring loom nicely back in. Now it looks like a bit of a spaghetti junction, but what I would suggest in this situation is, well, one, I'm going to have to look back at one of my videos, but you will see how things kind of line up, especially on a car with not many electrics. So really, honestly, we've got some branching going on here, okay? Now, some of this you can work out where they go, some not. But generally, you'll be able to work out the loom from all of this. I mean, that is for the ignition module, so that's going to have to run over here for a start. Some of this, I would recommend, firstly, this wiring loop. It's got to go in here. You can see where it's been sitting previously. Just open these up and just push these in. Okay, lovely. Next one. There we go. Okay, once you start lining all this in, it starts to make a little bit more sense. but just don't rush this part of the process. Take your time and ignore my bad camera action because I'm concentrating. Perfect. I mean, that's gone behind, but it's looped round. I'm not quite sure why that's happened. I might have to just fish this around. Watch the plug. Okay. There we go. That's got to be for the oil. Send that. Damn well is, because I know which one it is. There we go. So we've got a bit of a loom going on here. Okay. This loom, by the way, does a lot of things. Can't remember what these two are. One of them's, I think that one of them's a coolant temperature sensor. That's for the ignition module. That one there is for, oh, I can't remember what that's for. That's for the oil pressure switch down there. That's what all this does. So this plug actually controls quite a few things. I'm going to rearrange everything to how I want it. I might have to consult some of my old videos, but that's essentially how all this wraps into place. And what I can do and what I will do is probably move that there we go. And I'll probably move that in there. There we go. It just makes sense for it to go like that. You've got to work this out. Now we've got one piece to go on. Now I'm just going to fetch, well, first of all, the top piece. We'll put this on. As far as I can see, you can go either way. But just sip it on now, give it a bit of a clean. Give it a bit of a silicone, or you can use GT85 because it's silicone based. But just place it along. You might have to do a bit of shuffling, and it's all starting to come together. If one side's a bit tight, you might have to push it down to the other side. There we go. We just shuffle that. There we go. Done. Now this plate, I forgot to mention, it hinges off these 2 points. Just there we go. So it just hinges. So just put this plate over the top. There we go. Done. Now I can't remember what secures it at the bottom. Have we got another couple of screws? I think so. I think I need to find another couple of these fixings and screws. But basically you'd put one there, 2 screws, and that's it. And that bolts in very nice, and it covers a lot of this wiring up, which is exactly how it should be. Now, just before, remember, you've got one screw that goes in here before we put that plate on. Just before I do. Now, the thing is, I need some more fixings because I need to get what I think I've dropped a fixing on the floor, but there should be 2 fixings for here, and I haven't got any more in my parts trays, so I'm going to have to go on the trawl to look out for more. There we go. That's gone straight in. Lovely, fantastic. Right, I will tighten that up with a 10mm spanner. This just simply hooks onto here. There we go, come on, just hook on. There we go, come on. The resistance doesn't want to go on. There we go. Right, so you can see the problem here. We've got to have a couple of fixings. This wiring has always gone in front, but I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to do a little bit more tidying up around the edges, but we've got to tighten that bolt up. But that's where I leave it for this little scuttle job. I haven't really gone OTT, I haven't painted it up or anything like that, because most of it's actually in pretty good condition, and I don't want to lose that finish. I think once you lose the finish and put some satin black on it, it looks good if it looks rubbish in the first place, but if it looks semi-decent, I just leave it alone. That's the thing, and I'm up against time, but everything's been fitted, and that is exactly how it should go. Right, I've just come in here because it started raining again. I'm a bit perplexed as to where one of those clips has gone. It's literally dropped on the floor, and I can't find it even with a magnet. So what I'm doing is I'm going to put the throttle kicker in position, and it literally just sits on here. I'll just take this off. I will secure this. I don't know what way I'll secure it, but I'll secure it. I've got a feeling that orange cable is for this plug. Okay, I'll just secure that in with a screwdriver. We've got the lines over here, and I believe somewhere down here, yes, thank you very much, there is a join cable. One of those cables goes down to the start inhibitor down there, and the other side goes into here. And I'll just chuck it in for now. Bit of a stiff plug this. There we go. Lovely. Sorry. There we go. Lovely. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. That's routed absolutely fine. And we've got an array. I've put a couple of things back on. We've got that is for the carburetor cut-off solenoid. So you want to just bring things into position where they would normally go, and then it starts to make a little bit of sense, and then you get a feel for where the wiring should normally sit. But basically that wiring should sit through there. I don't know why that has just come out. Difficult to get this plug off now. Might need a pry bar, but basically that wire should sit through there. It may not exactly go where it went before, but we have actually got a plug here that I can't identify. That plug there, I mean, we've got the master cylinder. Yeah, that makes sense, because the wire just came out, and oh yes, it goes there. See, the wires will go back to where they should go, because the copper is sort of bent into shape over, 34 years. It's had to stay in the same position, so no doubt it will want to go back the same way. It's a bit of a mishmash, but it will make sense in time. But I've got to try and find a couple of clips, maybe just get them off a breaker car, just to secure that down. But I'm going to leave this here, guys. Just a mini little episode. I'm going to do more cleaning around here, and just rearranging everything, but it's slowly coming together. I'm going to do some cleaning in here as well. Take care.